DeAndre, obviously knowing that you guys have now had 2 weeks off in between series and between games when it comes to the first round and the second round, how has that helped you acclimate not only to the playoff atmosphere and what the Cavs are able to do, but also just getting into the principles of the offense?
I mean, it just helped me learn for sure. Having the time off. I think more so just for everyone's body, especially after going through a series. It's good to have this time off.
Knowing that you guys, or you especially, have come into your own in the latter half of that series, how has that helped you grow, and how has that helped you just grow confidence in the role that you're going to have, especially coming into a series where your role might be elevated even higher?
I mean, I've always had confidence in myself. I think my teammates have confidence in me as well. Those last 2 games definitely helped, but it's a different series, so just got to see how the first game goes.
DeAndre, in those last 2 games, I mean, the fact that you guys went down there, you got out to big leads, but you didn't let your feet off the gas in terms of getting too comfortable with that lead. How important do you think that was to come into the playoffs that way?
I think it's very important. The playoffs, you always want to send a message, whether it's to the team you're playing or to future teams. So I think we send a good message that we're going to play a full 48 minutes no matter what the score is.
As you start getting ready for the series, what stands out to you about the Pacers?
They play really fast. They like to get out in transition, and that's pretty much it so far.
What kind of a challenge is that in the postseason when the game typically tends to slow down to a different pace than what you play at in the regular season?
I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see how they play, in the postseason. But when we played them during the regular season, even when I was with ATL, they always play really fast, no matter time or score. So I think they'll pretty much play the same way, but we'll see.
What do you think of Tyrese Halliburton's jump shot?
It's cool.
Yeah. Why do you think he was voted most overrated player in the league by the Mountain Player poll? How much of that do you think is he shoots it from here, or doesn't get 30? What do people miss about his impact?
I mean, I feel like he has an impact on the game. He makes his teammates better. He scores when he needs to. He made big plays, in that series against Milwaukee. But as far as the overrated part, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who voted. I don't have nothing to say about that.
DeAndre, what do you think you've learned the most from not only being on, but also just in the playoff atmosphere with the Cavs?
Every possession, every game matters. Whether you're up, whether you're losing, it's always a test to be better for next game or for next series. So I think, going from game 1, we had a good lead and we played well, but game 2 we still made changes even though we won, and I think that helped us win game 3 and 4, if that makes sense.
Is something like that, the adjustments that Kenny can make not only game to game but on the fly, something that are important but also something that could be surprising going from coast to coast this season?
I think it's really important because I think the other team is doing the same thing more than likely, especially after game 1. So just being able to make changes and having the personnel to make those changes and execute it, I think that's what helps us as a team.
Kenny was talking a lot about defending 5 out. What are the kind of the obstacles to doing that well in your mind? What are the keys to being able to combat it?
I think you just got to be aggressive on defense. Turner's usually on the perimeter, so that means he can't crash the glass as often. So we just have to, be physical with him and keep him off the glass, and that'll allow us to get in transition. And I feel like we're best when we're in transition.
Kenny was also saying it could go either way he thinks it could go either way on Darius playing game 1 Sunday. So, relatively new teammate of Darius. What have you learned about what he does for this team?
He's huge. He scores, he facilitates. I think he stepped it up on the defensive end from what I watched this year as well. He's a leader on this team. He's a vocal guy. I love playing with him. So we need him back for sure.
This is the last question.
Control their pace while also maintaining yours.
Like I said, I feel like we control the glass, keep Turner and the wings from crashing and getting a defensive rebound. I think we can push in transition as well.